Eagles. That was Stanley Thomas III. Wide open again is Kajon Thomas underneath the basket. He got fouled. Count the bucket, it looks like. So that'll tie us at 6. Looks like the foul's against Brandon Hardy of the Mustangs. That'll be his first personal, first team foul. Chance to take the lead here on this potential three-point play for Kajon Thomas. No. Marquise Moore is there to clean up. And they work it underneath. Josh Andrews couldn't get that bucket from right underneath. Eagles back the other way. Working outside is number 44. It's missing iron with Sean Hards Jr. Mustangs coming the other way. Hardy gets fouled and he'll go to the line. Foul was on number 3, Stanley Thomas III. Second team foul for the Eagles. Once again, it's not a packed house here tonight in the Carter High School gym. There's a lot of open seats. But the Eisenhower Pep Squad is being as loud as they can to help their team out. Brandon Hardy seeks the first free throw. Mustangs go up 7-6. It's all CIF Southern Section matchups presented by your Southern California Ford dealers, Max Preps, Spectrum, and more. This wild card matchup is really living up to its name. Second free throw didn't go from Brandon Hardy. That one's taken away by Hardy. As a pass to nobody from the Eagles. Bucket again for the Mustangs. Now it's 9-6. Brandon Hardy and Marquise Moore work together to get that bucket. There's a foul called. It looks like it's going to be against Joshua Andrews for the Mustangs. Second team foul, first personal. Eagles to inbound it from half court. There's a substitution coming into the game is number 2. I believe that's Chris Rubio. He comes in for Sean Hards Jr. This Eisenhower High School team is 14-15 overall, 4-5, which is good enough for third in the Sunkist League. Here's a long three-point try from Stanley Thomas III. Offensive board, long shot from Gardner. Hits the rim, and the Mustangs will let that go out of bounds because they will take over. Still 9-6 in favor of the Muir Mustangs. Muir in possession. With a 13-14 record overall, 7-7 in the Pacific League, they racked up that 4th position. Both teams on losing streaks. Eisenhower's on a losing streak of 2. Muir's on a losing streak of 3. Both teams suffered heartbreaks against their rivals last week. Mustangs come up empty-handed. Here's an open three-point try from number 11. That is Samaj Carter, and it gets stuck in between the rim and the backboard. Saw him do the same thing during warm-ups. It's just not helping him out right now. He's not getting that ball luck. And it seems like every game that I've called so far this season, a ball has gotten stuck in between the rim and the backboard. Call that a rare occurrence. It doesn't seem that rare in high school. Possession stays with the Eisenhower Eagles. 3:53 to play in the first quarter. Still 9-6, Muir Mustangs. Here's Thomas for the Eagles. Works it inside to Kajon Thomas. Count the bucket, and it's 9-8. Kajon Thomas has been the leading scorer tonight. Here's an open look 3 from Brandon Hardy, and it's good. Sadiq Moore on the assist, and the Mustangs go up by 4. It's 12-8. It's like a foul against Marquise Moore. for the Mustangs. Yes, it is. It'll be his first. Third team foul. We're chilling at the top of the Carter High School bleachers tonight. 3:15 to play in the opening quarter. Once again, not really a large crowd for both sides tonight. It's a tough Tuesday game. Working his way inside there was Cam Gardner, and Brandon Hardy comes away at the rebound. So the Mustangs back in possession. Sadiq Moore works his way underneath. Ja'Kai Pulley was there to get the offensive board. Mustangs slow it down with a fresh 35. 2 3/4 to play in the first. Josh Andrews lost it to Cam Gardner, and the Eagles looking at fast break. It goes out of bounds off of one of the Mustangs, and Eisenhower will retain possession. Eisenhower coming off a 77-76 loss against Grand Terrace on Friday of last week. That was February 3rd. It's a heartbreak loss for them. Mustangs coming off the longest game in perhaps their history, going the distance of triple overtime against Pasadena High School. 71-65, the Bulldogs pulled that off. Eisenhower in possession. It's Cam Gardner with 10 on the shot clock. Trying to work his way inside the paint, works it around to Subash Carter. The rebound was Ja'Kai Pulley, and they say he stepped out, so Eisenhower will retain possession. Double substitution here for the Eagles. Sean Hards Jr. comes back into the game. And also into the game is number 15. They don't have a 15 on their roster, but I believe it's one of their guys tonight as Eisenhower gets a bucket. And the Eagles are back within one. 2 minutes to play in the first. They work it around the horn, do the Mustangs, to Sadiq Moore. Pulls up for three. Off the rim and out. They fight for the rebound, and Ja'Kai Pulley was there. Using his speed to get that one. Pulling it for three is Bradley Jones. He got fouled on the shot and will go to the line. Foul was on number 11, Samash Carter for the Eagles. 3 shots for Bradley Jones. He's wearing number 3 tonight instead of his usual number 1. First shot is off the mark. Second one doesn't go either. So far, the opportunity is not being taken advantage of. He misses all 3. Ja'Kai Pulley again on the offensive board. He's got 3. Jones pulls up for a jump shot, and he gets that one. Mustangs extend the lead to 3, 14-11, with 1:15 to play in the first. Working his way inside was Cam Gardner for the Eagles, and it's back to a 1-point game. Bradley Jones pulls up for 3. Off the iron, it went off of Aiden Valencia. He saved it, and wow, Ja'Kai Pulley was there again. He's been all over that ball like a hornet. Pulling up for 3 was Brandon Hardy. No good. And on the rebound, Cam Gardner for the Eagles. Long shot from Stanley Thomas. No good. Shot clock off. 30 seconds to play. Ja'Kai Pulley on yet another board. He's got 5 now. Working his way underneath with Sadiq Moore. No good there. Eagles, easy 2 points to take the lead was number 11, Samaj Carter. And so they lead 15-14. Shot clock off with 10 to play in the first. It's been a close game so far. Sadiq Moore, quick hook of a shot, no good. He got his own rebound, and it goes out of bounds. And that will do the first quarter. And so at the end of the first quarter, it's the Eisenhower Eagles 15 and the Muir Mustangs 14. Seems like we're going to have a fast flyer tonight. Both teams once again trying to bounce back after heartbreaking losses. Both teams also trying to snap losing streaks. For Eisenhower, it's 2. For Muir, it's 3. They suffered devastating losses to Arcadia, Crescenta Valley, and then Pasadena. For Eisenhower, one of their losses was last week to Grand Terrace. Looking at the second loss for them in this streak, and it was against Summit High School of Fontana, 70-56. He did. It'll be Mustangs ball to start the second quarter. Worked around the horn to Sadiq Moore. Inside the paint to Jakai Poli. Looks outside to Sadiq Moore. Now underneath to Marquise Moore. And big defense there from the Eagles. And they come away at the ball. Cam Gardner. Long three himself. And wow, he nailed it. Looked like he was at Auto Club Speedway when he nailed that shot. The foul here against the Eagles. Looked like it was against 44 Sean Hards Jr., sending Brandon Hardy to the free throw line. He'll shoot 2. First free throw's good. So it's 18-15 in favor of the Eisenhower Eagles. Mustangs in their away blues. Trim is gold and white as Brandon Hardy makes both of the free throws. It's now a 2-point game, 18-16. Eisenhower's in their home whites. Their trim is Kelly green and Vegas gold. Ball out of bounds, and it will go in favor of the Mustangs. So Eisenhower turned it over. Very specific colors for their school of Eisenhower High School. I had to write it down to make sure I remembered it. Kelly green, Vegas gold. Mustangs in possession. Josh Andrews. Sadiq Moore. Whistle blowing. And the Mustangs will retain possession. They'll inbound it from the base. Head coach for the Eagles is Sean Hards, senior. Head coach for the Mustangs is Brenton Moore. Pulling up for 3, Sadiq Moore. Credit Josh Andrews on the assist. Mustangs take a 19-18 lead. Eagles in possession. Stanley Thomas, the third. 11 on the shot clock. Trying to work it himself. Whistle blowing, and they'll call a reach-in foul. And that will bail the Eagles out of that bit of a pickle that they were in. Crap, I didn't see who the foul was on. Oh, it was on Sadiq, who's first. Eagles in possession. Cam Gardner. Long three again. Wow, he's getting hot right now. 21-19. Eagles in front. It's been back and forth here so far in the first half. Underneath to Marquise Moore, and Brandon Hardy gets the assist. And we're level at 21. First tie since 6-6, which was early in the first quarter. Kajon Thomas underneath. Count the bucket as he'll go to the line to shoot one more. That'll put the Eagles back up in front, 23-21. With Kajon Thomas in a spot to potentially make it a 3-point lead with 5.5 to play in the first half. Again, just back and forth between these two teams. It's kind of what was expected on paper, seeing their records. Seemed pretty evenly matched. Eisenhower for sure has the size advantage. I feel like the average height of their players is probably like 6'1 or 6'2. The tallest player in the Mustangs that's listed is Sadiq Moore at 6'3. It's like bucket no good. Both teams at 5 team fouls. Josh Andrews in possession for the Mustangs. 5:20 to play in the half. So it's still anybody's game. Andrews, quick jump shot. Quick putback by Ja'Kai Pulley, and no good. And Aiden Valencia picks up a steal for the Mustangs. Shot by Andrews, no good. And another steal by Andrews this time. Mustangs back in possession. Valencia held on. Still 23-21 Eagles. 4:34 to play. Andrews tried to go around the horn and go for the quick bucket himself, but there were 2 Eagles in his way. Thomas throws it off of, well, Stanley Thomas off of Kajon Thomas. Recovering the ball was Samaj Carter. Inside to the big man. And traveling is called on Kajon Thomas. Eagles turn it over. It's multi-sport athlete Ja'Kai Pulley doing his thing. Can't wait for baseball season to start to see what he can do there alongside Makai Clark. Those are your 2 multi-sport athletes along with Adrian Ramirez. Chick gets the ball back as he's called around campus. And a foul on number 1, Cam Gardner for the Eagles. 3:56 to play, still 23-21 in favor of Eisenhower. Aiden Valencia to the line for the Mustangs to shoot 2 free throws. Or to shoot some free throws. The ball didn't want to go in for Aiden there. Still 23-21 Eisenhower. Second free throw is incoming for Aiden Valencia. Again, off and out. Mustangs come away empty-handed as Stanley Thomas picks up the rebounds. He's trying to drive himself, puts up a shot, got his own rebound back. Referees blow the whistle for a foul. Foul against Marquise Moore, looks like. It'll be his second. Both teams at 6 team fouls each. 3:44 to play. Stanley Thomas to the line for the Eagles. So he makes the first one. Checking into the game for the Mustangs is number 24, Adrian Ramirez. He is the Pacific League Defensive Player of the Year in football. Stanley Thomas' second free throw is good. Eagles extend the lead 25-24. 3:40 to play in the second quarter, also known as the first half. Pulley gets the ball inside. They say it goes off of him and out of bounds, so the Mustangs turn it over. .323 to play, 4-point Eisenhower Eagle lead. They'll let this one go a little bit to Cam Gardner. Seasons are starting to get hectic on the Steelers. Brandon Hardy for the Mustangs. He couldn't get the bucket. So the Eagles come back the other way. Working outside, open three from Sean Hards Jr. Rebounded inside by Samaj Carter. Whistle blowing. Eagles turn it over. So it'll be Mustangs ball with 2:57 to play in the first half. Valencia's pass to Sadiq Moore. A bit of a press from the Eagles. Ja'Kai Pulley gets the ball. Worked it outside to Brandon Hardy, who pulls up for three. It's off the mark, but Pulley's there on a rebound. Puts the ball up and couldn't squeak out the 2 points, but he'll go to the free throw line. Ja'Kai Pulley. I think I've said this in one of my previous broadcasts, that he's just a rebound machine. He's looking like that again tonight. So Pulley to the line to shoot a pair of free throws. It'll be his first trip to the line tonight in a 4-point game. And a whoosh there from Pulley. It's a quick substitution by the Eagles. Cam Gardner will check out. Into the game is Chris Rubio for the second time. Also for the Mustangs, they make a substitution. So that's Robert Harvey into the game for Adrian Ramirez. Second shot from Ja'Kai Pulley. 3-point game right now, 25-22 Eagles. Second shot, same result. 25-23 from Ja'Kai Pulley. It's a successful trip to the free throw line for him, and the Mustangs are in the bonus after that foul. Quick bucket the other way from the Eagles, as that was Samaj Carter, extend the lead back out to 4. Sadiq Moore works it inside to Aiden Valencia. Mustangs trying to get back in business. Body's hitting the floor. Jump ball is called. Possession arrow on the scoreboard is not on, but at the table it's pointed to the Eagles, and that's where it'll go. So it's 27-23 in favor of the Eisenhower Eagles. Long shot there from Stanley Thomas. No good. Ball goes out of bounds off of an Eagle, and the Mustangs will have possession. 1:58 to play, so under 2 minutes here in the second quarter. It's a 4-point Eagle lead. Looks like a foul was called against the Eagles as well. That will send Brandon Hardy to the line, shooting 1-1 for the Mustangs. It is his second trip to the line, or scratch that, third trip to the line. Shot is up. It went off the rim. Pulley initially saved it. The whistle blowing as they say he stepped out of bounds. The Mustangs turn it over. There's Hardy's free throw didn't go down. Rubio for the Eagles. Round the horn to Stanley Thomas. And they'll say he drew a foul there. Be a push and a back foul on the Mustangs. So now both teams in the singular bonus. Shot from Stanley Thomas is good. 5-point game with 100 seconds to play in the first half. What's at stake tonight is a date with the St. Margaret's Tertons of San Juan Capistrano. That game is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Shot no good from Stanley Thomas. So it will remain a 5-point game. Mustangs ball. And it's Joshua Andrews. Made a couple missing, an open jump shot, no good. And traveling is called against Stanley Thomas. That was good pressure from Aiden Valencia to cause that. Eagles turn it over deep in their own half of the court. Mustangs ball. They lost the ball. Kajon Thomas came away with it for the Eagles. He gets it back. And he took too many steps. Eagles turn it over. It's a beautiful double team there from the Mustangs to cause that turnover. I was speaking to Coach Britton Moore earlier today. Yep. You got to watch the table. So they called jump ball on that one. Possession arrow. There's a big shot from Aiden Valencia. Ja'Kai Pulley on the assist there from the inbound position. So it's a 2-point game with 40 seconds to play. Long shot from Stanley Thomas. Pulley was able to set Robert Harvey up on the rebounds. Working underneath, Joshua Andrews for 2 to tie the game. Brandon Hardy with yet another assist. He's got 2 so far. So once again, that conversation with Coach Britton Moore earlier today before the game and before the trip out to Rialto, he was talking about is that's an offensive foul against Stanley Thomas. Another great defensive play from Aiden Valencia for the John Muir Mustangs. And so with 6.3 seconds to play, level at 28, it'll be Mustangs ball. They'll let this roll before picking it up. Cross half court. Andrews, 5 to shoot. Tried to work his way inside. They fight for the ball, and the Eagles come away with it. Long shot there, no good from Samaj Carter at the horn. That'll take us to the half. We're tied at 28. So now I can finally finish what I was saying a little bit ago. Coach Britton Moore and Coach Robert Johnson were talking earlier that the best is yet to come from this Mustangs team. And they're hopefully looking for a deep playoff run to hopefully get some better recruiting for the basketball team. As of course, with the deep football playoff run, there's going to be some hefty recruiting by the Mustangs going into the next academic year. And also with the departure of the head coach and Maxie for Pasadena High School. They went to Baldwin Park at the end of the season. So it'll be an interesting look for the Pacific League going into the 23-24 academic year. So we are at halftime here from Carter High School. So we'll take a quick break here on Game Mic. When we come back, we'll have some of the leading scorers for both teams and tell you more about the family at John Muir High School. You're listening to the CIF Southern Section Division 4 AA Wild Card matchup, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
Have you always wanted to be a sports broadcaster but didn't know how to get started? Well, Game Mic allows you to go out and practice, just like we need to practice as athletes. You can't get better without work, so gain that experience on Game Mic.
I really want to be a sports broadcaster, but not sure how to get started.
Have you done any broadcasting before?
No, but I know I need experience, but just not sure how.
You should really download the Game Mic app. It allows anyone to create and broadcast at any time.
What games can I call?
Any youth sporting event. You can even share it out with family and friends so they can listen in.
That sounds great. I'll download today.
Are you a parent with multiple active kids? Are you at one event while your spouse is at another? That's where Game Mic comes in, the free app that allows anyone to broadcast live audio so that people can listen on the go and feel as if they were there. Game Mic, it's in the emotions.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Rivas, co-founder of Game Mic. Thank you for listening in. Game Mic was built so any school, any program, any sport, anytime can create a live audio broadcast. We believe audio brings moments to life. Download Game Mic today in the app and Google Play Store. Game Mic, it's in the emotions.
What's up everyone? Thanks for listening into Game Mic. Action should resume as soon as your broadcaster is ready to go. This is Game Mic. Max Preps is America's source for high school sports, and we're looking for more broadcasters out there that have an interest in providing live audio from their high school events. No experience needed, but it can be gained. Email socialmp@cbsinteractive.com to learn more. That's socialmp@cbsinteractive.com.
And we are back here at halftime from Carter High School in Rio Alto, California. That's in San Bernardino County for the CIF Southern Section Division 4 AA Boys Varsity Basketball Wild Card / Play-In game. Tied at 28 between the John Muir Mustangs and Eisenhower Eagles. Here's some of your leading scorers at the half. Leading the way for the Mustangs, it looks to be Josh Andrews with 7 points. 2 for 4 from the field, 1 for 1 from three-point line. He's got a steal and an assist to go along with that. Close behind is Brandon Hardy with 6. We have 1 for 2 from the field, 1 for 2 for 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Actually, no, that's 8. There's Andrews with 5, Hardy with 8. So Brandon Hardy leading the way for the Mustangs. Andrews has 5. Marquise Moore has 5 points as well. 2 for 4 from the field is Marquise Moore. 1 for 1 from the free throw line. Let's take a look at the Eisenhower Eagles now. Leading the way is number 00. That's Kajon Thomas, 6'8" senior. 11 points and 3 blocks. Close behind is number 1, Cameron Gardner, 5'10" junior with 8 points, shooting 2 for 3 from three-point land. And number 11, Samaj Carter, 6'2" freshman with 6 points. As a team, the Eagles are shooting 9 for 11 from the field, 2 for 12 from three-point land. Total shooting 11 for 33, which is 33%. Those are your leading scorers at the half. Once again, the Eagles and Mustangs are tied at 28. As a senior at John Muir High School, one of the things that's big is family. Whether it's in athletics or in the classroom, you pretty much know everyone in your class. There's a lot of events to get to know everybody in your class. So that's what brings the Mustang community together. Students, alumni, and fans alike. And of course, it's all perpetuated by the principal, Dr. Lawton Gray. He's doing a phenomenal job as principal of John Muir High School. He won Principal of the Year 1 year ago. And of course, we had Teacher of the Year from Mr. Perect, who teaches math at Muir. He won Teacher of the Year this year and was honored at the Rose Bowl game between Utah and Penn State. One of the big things at Muir is whatever you identify yourself as, you have a place. For example, in my situation, I'm Filipino American, and I can connect with everybody at school, even despite being one of the few Filipinos in the demographics at Muir. It's just everybody getting along on campus, and that's what brings this whole family aspect to its great whole. It's like a giant melting pot at Muir. Both teams warming up here. So we'll take a 30-second break. When we come back, it'll be time for the second half. Here from Carter High School in Rio Alto, California. So once again, it's the Eisenhower Eagles and John Muir Mustangs level at 28.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for listening into Game Mike. Action should resume as soon as your broadcaster is ready to go. This is Game Mike.
Have you always wanted to be a sports broadcaster but didn't know how to get started?
And we are back, getting set for the second half. Here from Carter High School in Rio Alto, California, San Bernardino County. The site of tonight's CIF Southern Section Boys Varsity Basketball Division IV AA Wildcard Play-In match between the John Muir Mustangs and Eisenhower Eagles. Eisenhower, the host team tonight at Carter High School. They play most of their games here at Carter. The facilities here at Carter High School, really nice. They have 6 scoreboards set up here in the gymnasium. Only 2 of them are operating right now, as those 2 are the primary and they have the shot clock underneath them. The other 2 are for the secondary and tertiary basketball courts that they could use for practice or separate games, or even tournaments. Eagles start off with possession to take us away here in the second half. Samaj Carter works it under to Kajon Thomas. Ball goes out of bounds and the Eagles will retain possession with 18 seconds on the shot clock. Once again, what's at stake tonight is a trip down to San Juan Capistrano to play the St. Margaret's Tartans. Same bat time of 7 p.m. tip-off, as it'll be an official playoff matchup. Outside open three-point try from Stanley Thomas III as Cameron Gardner gets the assist on that one. The Eagles will get the first points of the half. 31-28 they lead. Mustangs in possession. Josh Andrews fakes a shot and gives the pass to Sadiq Moore, who pulls up at the free throw line. Marquise Moore on the offensive board. Mustangs got the fresh 35. It's Sadiq Moore. Andrews across to Valencia. Valencia looking for options. Finds Sadiq Moore near half court. Mustangs with 13 on the shot clock. Pulling up is Brandon Hardy for 3. It's off the mark, and Kajon Thomas is there for the Eagles. Gardner across to Carter. They work it around the horn to Sean Hards Jr., whose three-point try is off the rim and away. Brandon Hardy on the rebound for the Mustangs. Underneath was Sadiq Moore, and that bucket just didn't go. Still 31-28 in favor of the Eagles. And there's a bucket from Cam Gardner plus the foul, so he'll go to the line to shoot one more. 33-28 in favor of the Eagles. Fouls against Brandon Hardy. His potential second personal first team foul. Free throw no good from Gardner. Sadiq Moore in the backcourt. Whistle blowing, and a foul is called. Fouls against Samaj Carter for the Eagles. And that'll be their first team foul of the half. It'll be Mustangs ball from half court. And it's Aiden Valencia with possession. Jumper from him, no good, and Cam Gardner's on the rebound for the Eagles. Hards Jr. got the ball. And they cycled it to Gardner once more. Short pass to Stanley Thomas. 16 on the shot clock. Eagles in front by 5. Carter goes to Thomas with 7 to shoot. 3 to shoot. Spin move. Shot clock violation on the Eagles. That was very stingy defense from the Mustangs as they forced the turnover on that shot clock violation. And so it's Joshua Andrews for the Mustangs. Round the horn to Sadiq Moore. Tried to go underneath to Brandon Hardy. It's off of Kajon Thomas and out of bounds, so the Mustangs will retain possession with 18 seconds on the shot clock. Still 33-28 in favor of the Eisenhower Eagles. Underneath to Marquise Moore. He tried to pull up for a shot. Foul is called against Sean Hards Jr. The foul was on scratching Sean Hards Jr. It was Kajon Thomas. Second team foul of the half. Marquise Moore to the line. Second trip to the free throw line tonight. Free throw is good. And substitution here for the Eagles. Kajon Thomas will have a seat. 15 is back into the game. And Marquise Moore will sink both free throws. 3-point game, 33-30 in favor of the Eagles. In possession is Cameron Gardner for Eisenhower. Trying to drive underneath with Stanley Thomas III. No good. Is great defense from the Mustangs again. It was Marquise Moore on the rebound, and Josh Andrews down the court for two. 1-point game, 33-32. Eisenhower in front. The team in white trimmed Kelly Green and Vegas Gold are the Eagles. They're going from left to right in this half. Gardner round the horn. Goes to Samaj Carter, try for three, no good. Joshua Andrews on the rebound for the Mustangs. Valencia pulled up for a potential layup, no good. Eagles on the rebound. Goes off the face of Samaj Carter, and the Eagles will turn it over. Kajon Thomas will come back into the game for 15. Might be one of the could be Corlin Ryan. Foul on the play. Looks like it'll be against Sadiq Moore. He'll pick up his second. At least second. The Eagles ball up 1 with 3:50 to play in the third. Busy schedule coming up for John Muir Athletics as the girls water polo team was also playing tonight. Their game tipped off at 4. They were also on the road for a playoff matchup. But it's becoming softball and baseball season as the Muir Mustangs softball team will be in action. That could have been a push-off foul on Kajon Thomas, none given. Cameron Gardner's shot, no good. Brandon Hardy on the board. And Joshua Andrews draws a foul. So he'll go to the free throw line. Fouls against Cameron Gardner for the Eagles. Send the Mustangs to the free throw line. It's Josh Andrews, number 2. Mustangs in their away blues. Trim is gold and white, going from right to left here in the second half. Andrews, free throw is off the lip of the rim there. No good. Still a 1-point game. It's his first trip to the free throw line tonight. He'll shoot one more, and it's on the way. Gets the split, and we're tied at 33. Last tie was at 28, and that was at the half. So previous ties include 21-21 and 6-6, excluding 0-0 to start the game. Cameron Gardner for the Eagles. Works it outside to Samaj Carter. Now to Stanley Thomas. Fadeaway shot, no good. On the rebound, Sadiq Moore for the Mustangs. Still tied at 33. He goes all the way, no good. Another board from Stanley Thomas for the Eagles. Foul is called there. Against the Mustangs. Looked like it was against Brandon Hardy again. To the line for the Eagles, Samaj Carter, number 11. Free throw, no good. He'll shoot one more. And that one's no good either. Brandon Hardy on yet another defensive board. He's got at least 5 tonight. Aiden Valencia for the Mustangs. Still tied at 33. Valencia gets the ball back. Looking for help, goes to Sadiq Moore. Open three-point try off the rim and out. And the Eagles come back down the court. Gardner pulls up for a long three. He nails it. He's been shooting deep threes. And the Eagles are back in front, 36-33. That ball goes out of bounds. The Mustangs will turn it over here with under 2 minutes to play in the third. It looks like Coach Britton-Moore will call timeout for his team. It'll be a full timeout. So 1:58 to go here in the third quarter. Timeout called by the Mustangs. It's a very different aspect from the triple overtime game that I had the honors of calling on Thursday of last week. Both teams are using their timeouts like crazy. A lot of questionable calls during that game as well. I had Pasadena High School listed at -1 timeouts at the end of the game. There's sort of like it seemed like they called the timeout when they didn't have any timeouts, and the referees just decided, oh, it's too late to reject that timeout. But this game's been very competitive tonight, very much back and forth between the two teams. So be Eagles in possession here. 1:55 to play in the third. They're up by 3. Pass to Cam Gardner. Around the horn to Samaj Carter. Whistle blowing here. Looks to be a blocking foul on Hardy for the Mustangs. Looks like it'll be his 4th, potentially. His 4th or 5th, so it'll be his 4th, and the Mustangs will sub him out for Robert Harvey. 1:35 to play, possession for the Eagles. Up by 3, trying to extend it. Push-off foul, or traveling, is the official call. Traveling on Kajon Thomas. You could have called him for pushing off, too. Mustangs ball. Here's a full-court press attempt from the Eagles. Goes to Robert Harvey. Cross to Aiden Valencia. Sadiq Moore. Working inside. Draws the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line. Be his first trip to the free throw line.
Might be 4th. It's either his 3rd or 4th. Double 0. 3. At least 3.
Free throw is good from Sadiq Moore. If the foul was on Kajon Thomas, that's either his 3rd or 4th. They're not showing the player number on the fouls. Sadiq Moore goes 2 for 2. And it's a 1-point game. 36-35, Eisenhower in front. 67 seconds to play in the third. Long three-point try from Gardner is good. That one was from Auto Club Speedway for sure. 39-35 with under a minute to play. Shooting 66% from the three-point line. Whistle blowing here as the Mustangs turn it over. 46.7 seconds to play in the third quarter. 4-point Eisenhower lead. Winner of this game plays tomorrow against St. Margaret's. Trying to drive was Gardner. Thomas on the rebound, and Kajon Thomas there to get the deuce. Shot clock off with 22 seconds to play in the third. Andrews. And it's stolen away by Stanley Thomas. Back the other way, Samaj Carter draws the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line. Eagles up by 6. Foul against Ja'Kai Pulley. Looks to be his first. 5th team foul. Largest lead of the game right here for Eisenhower. First free throw is good from Samaj Carter. Now it's a 7-point lead, 42-35. The third quarter in general has just been the troublesome quarter for the Muir Mustangs. They've given up the most points and scored the least amount of points in their games during the third quarter. Carter, second free throw, gets them both. And so it's 43-35, 8-point lead. Aiden Valenti, a quick step shot is good for 2. 3. One referee signaled up for 2, the other did for 3. That will take us to the break. And they will have him down for 3, Aiden Valencia. He's shooting for 2 for 2 at least from three-point land. End of the third, 43-37 in favor of the Eisenhower Eagles. That's 24 minutes down, 8 minutes to go here from Carter High School, Rio Alto, California, in San Bernardino County. Just north of the 210 freeway, in between the 215 and 15 interchanges. Just north of here is Glen Helen Raceway, which is a dirt track that hosts motorcycles or motocross and rally racing. The most recent big race at Glen Helen Raceway was a big enduro on motocross dirt bikes. It was a big 24-hour race. So we get ready to start the fourth and final regulation quarter here from Carter High School. It's a 6-point game. Eagles in front 43-37. Mustangs in possession to start us off here in the fourth. Manny Shorter checks into the game. He's wearing number 1 tonight. Sadiq Moore tried to put one up. Quick putback by Ja'Kai Pulley for 2. 5th offensive board for Ja'Kai Pulley. Trying to drive a lane was Gardner for the Eagles. That was Kajon Thomas getting the rebound back, and the foul is called. Looks like it'll be against Robert Harvey, his first. 6th team foul. 43-39, Eagles in front. So Kajon Thomas to the line to shoot a pair of free throws. Trying to extend the lead for Eisenhower. So they call it a shooting foul. The first free throw, no good. I don't know if I want to call that ball don't lie because I don't remember seeing Kajon Thomas pull up for a shot from underneath. Second free throw is on the way. Let's see if he can get the split. No good. Yeah, I guess ball don't lie. Ja'Kai Pulley gets the rebound for the Mustangs. Valencia lost it, and the Eagles come back the other way. There's a pass intended inside the paint that got stolen away. A lot of bodies in front. Gardner tried to go the distance, and Sadiq Moore had his pocket picked. That went off the head of Manny Shorter, and then a lot of carnage in front there. Went off of his face. Mustangs in possession, nevertheless. Aiden Valencia runs into traffic. Jump ball is called in no favor Eisenhower. Substitution here for the Mustangs is Joshua Andrews will come back into the game. He'll check in for Aiden Valencia. Still 43-39 in favor of Eisenhower. 6:45 to play in the ball game. Next guaranteed game for me is Thursday. Girls varsity basketball plays against Gaudinez. And Santa Ana is a three-point try there from the Eagles is good. Extending their lead. Shorter gets the ball back. They work it around to Joshua Andrews. 46-39 Eagles in front. It's the Mustangs in possession. Andrews around a body to Robert Harvey. 14 to shoot. Quick pass to Sadiq Moore. Kajon Thomas was there. A three-point try from Harvey, no good. And guess who's on the rebound? And it was Ja'Kai Pulley with his sixth. And a three-point try is good for the Mustangs. I believe that was Harvey getting redemption on that one. Pulling up for three is Sean Hartz Jr., and he nails his first three of the night. And so it's a 7-point Eisenhower lead. That one's tipped and stolen by the Eagles. Quick fast break for Stanley Thomas. He tried to dunk and came up empty. And the Mustangs, Manny Shorter, as it looks like the Mustangs turned it over. Usually in those situations, the Mustangs would keep possession. And the referees agree with that statement. So there's a blocking foul called against the Eagles. Andrews tries to go around one, and he gets the bucket to land. He wasn't intimidated by the 6'8" senior in Kajon Thomas at all. 5-point game, 49-44 in favor of the Eagles. Samaj Carter. Stanley Thomas pulls up for three. Gets that one to go. And the Eagles extend their lead 52-44. 8-point lead, the largest that they've had. Tied for the largest now. Mustangs in possession. It's Sadiq Moore. Andrews pulls up for three. Gets it to go. As Sadiq Moore will come up with another assist. He's got 2 tonight. Andrews is at least 2 for 2 from three-point land. And it's a 5-point game. Eagles in possession. Work to Carter. Pulls up. Another three-point try from Samaj Carter. 55-47, back to an 8-point game. And Cam Gardner comes up with the steal for the Eagles. Trying to go the distance with Stanley Thomas. On the rebound was Kajon Thomas. And then they fight for the ball, and Brandon Hardy comes away with it. And then a steal by Sean Hards Jr. Fast break here. It goes off the hands of Kajon Thomas, and the Eagles turn it over. Stanley tried to feed Kajon, and they came up empty-handed. And it looks like full timeout is called by the Mustangs. Down by 8 with 3.5 to play in the ball game. It's been a fast flyer. Winner of this matchup plays tomorrow in San Juan Capistrano against the St. Margaret's Tartans. It'd be ironic for the Mustangs. It's their football season involved them playing against the Tartans. That was a rainy ball game. The Mustangs came out with the win 21-2. I'll look back at it. That was one of the first wins of the season for sure for the football team. Mustangs started their football season sputtering, but finished the year 9-7 overall. And yes, that was their first win of the season. First win of the season was against St. Margaret's. Pulling up for 3 was Joshua Andrews, and that will go rolling off the top of the backboard, and it'll be Eagle ball. Up by 8 with 3.25 to play. Stanley Thomas outside to Sean Hards Jr. They work it out to the center to their hot three-point shooter, and Gardner. It goes off the mark, and it'll be Mustangs balls. That one goes out of bounds. Exactly 3 minutes to play. 8-point game. 3-4 possession game, if you're looking at it that way. Possessions running out now for both teams. For the Mustangs, it is Sadiq Moore. Work it to Josh Andrews, 18 to shoot. Andrews feeds Hardy. Hardy pulls up for 3. Off the rim, no good. Kajon Thomas on the rebounds for the Eagles. Still 55-47. Underneath the Stanley Thomas, out-muscled Ja'Kai Pulley for a deuce. And it's a 10-point game, the largest lead tonight for the Eagles. Marquise Moore the other way. Didn't have the ball luck there as the Mustangs come up empty-handed. It looks like Sean Hards Sr. will call timeout for the Eagles. And he will also call a full timeout. So 2:04 to play in the ball game. 57-47 in favor of the Eisenhower Eagles. Looking at fouls to give, Eisenhower has 2 to give. Muir has 1 to give. Looking at the upcoming schedule once again in other sports for Muir Athletics. Guaranteed girls basketball playoff game against Gaudinez Fundamental in Santa Ana, Orange County game. It'll be a 7 p.m. tip-off. And then on Saturday, it's the big Dustin Brown retirement night for the Los Angeles Kings in the evening. In the morning, it'll be Muir softball against their Pasadena Unified School District rival non-league game against the Marshall Fundamental Eagles. And also my former middle school. Marshall Fundamental is one of those schools that's K through 12, 6 through 12. Eisenhower in possession here with 1:45 to go. Kajon Thomas no good. Mustangs on the rebound, and then they turned it over. Nobody home for the Mustangs as Samaj Carter will get an easy layup to extend the already largest lead of the game for the Eagles to 12. Pulling up for three quickly, Sadiq Moore. It's off the mark, and the Mustangs haven't scored a bucket in a while now. Eagles back the other way. Cam Gardner. To Carter. 16 on the shot clock with 63 seconds to play. Stanley Thomas tried to go the distance. Jakai Pulley was in his way, and then Kajon Thomas tried to get the quick putback. It didn't go, and the Eagles will turn it over. 55.3 to play. Aiden Valencia back into the game for the Mustangs. He'll come in for Joshua Andrews. Lets it roll for a little bit before picking it up, and the passes have been off the mark for the Mustangs. That one intended for Brandon Hardy. He was nowhere to be found, and the Mustangs turn it over yet again. 46 seconds to play in the ball game. 12-point Eisenhower lead is pulling up for three. There was Sean Hards Jr. Has a second triple of the night. Trying to go the distance was Brandon Hardy, and then Jakai Pulley on the rebound gets the bucket. Timeout called with 27.2. Shot clock is off. So it looks like the Muir season will come to an end, finishing the year 13-15 overall and ending on an unfortunate low note of a losing streak of 4. Eisenhower will snap their 2-game losing streak and will play again tomorrow in San Juan Capistrano against the St. Margaret's Tartans, who, if I remember correctly, are 21-8 overall. In the CAF Southern Section Division 4 AA, these two teams here, Muir and Eisenhower, were ranked 31 and 32. Muir 31, Eisenhower 32. What was a very evenly matched game turned into an Eisenhower pullout of a lead. It's 13 as Hards Jr. pulls up for another three. It's off the mark. Fighting for the rebound there. As Hardy had possession. It looks like Stanley Thomas will pick up a foul here. That would be possibly his third. 14.3 to go. Another substitution for the Eagles as 15 comes back into the game. Still haven't figured out who that is. Aiden Valencia gets the ball for the Mustangs. Trying to get something here. Quick jumper from Valencia, no good. Rebound is Stanley Thomas, and he'll make the pass to Gardner, who crosses half court to end the game. And so the Eagles bounce back after losing 2 straight. They win the game by a score of 62-49. And so the Eagles with a hot date against the Tartans of St. Margaret's in San Juan Capistrano tomorrow at 7 p.m. So that's going to do it for the Muir boys basketball season.
And let's give a big hand for your Eagles.
Excuse the PA for a moment.
Move on to round 1 of the Division 4 AA game. They play tomorrow. They will be traveling to St. Margaret's School in San Juan Capistrano. Game time is set for 7 p.m. Again, they'll be traveling tomorrow to St. Margaret's in San Juan Capistrano. 7 p.m. game time.
It's a quick basketball matchup here between the Mustangs and the Eagles. So once again, the Eagles winning here tonight, 62-49. They'll have to hit the road and travel to San Juan Capistrano to play against the St. Margaret's Tartans. That game is tomorrow at 7 p.m. And that's the official start of the playoffs, Division 4 AA. It's an unfortunate end to the season for the Muir boys varsity basketball team, who had a decent season going. They finished just below 500 overall. They finished at 500 in the league. That's the Pacific League. So guaranteed match up for the Muir girls basketball team on Thursday against Godliness Fundamental. They're called the Grizzlies. And that tip-off is 7 p.m. So some of your leading points getters for the victors tonight, the Eisenhower Eagles. Number 1, Cam Gardner finished the night with 16 points, 4 for 7 from 3. Number 3, Stanley Thomas III had 11 points with 11 rebounds. That's a double-double. Kajon Thomas, 00, 13 points, 9 rebounds, shooting 6 for 8 from the field. Number 11, Samaj Carter had 11 points. And then number 44, Sean Hards Jr. got hot at the end of the game, shooting 3 for 6 from three-point land for a total of 9 points. On the flip side, for the Mustangs, it looks like Josh Andrews led the way with 14, going 4 for 7 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Brandon Hardy had 8, going 1 for 3 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Marquise Moore ended the night with 7 points. Two for 5 from the field, 3 for 3 from the free throw line. One of the big factors tonight for the Mustangs was Jakai Pulley. He had 4 points tonight. Or I'm sorry, 6 points tonight. 2 for 2 from the free throw line and 2 for 4 from the field. As he had the bulk of the rebounds for the Mustangs. He had 7 offensive boards and 4 defensive boards for a grand total of 11 boards for Jakai Pulley. 62-49. It's still up there on the board, actually. So that's going to do it here tonight. So once again, the final score, the Eisenhower Eagles 62, the Muir Mustangs 49. So Eisenhower will play against St. Margaret's tomorrow at 7 from San Juan Capistrano. Mustangs season comes to an end, finishing the season 13-15 overall. Next game for me is girls varsity basketball. It'll be the Gatineau Fundamental Grizzlies hosting the Muir Mustangs. An interesting playoff entrance for the Mustangs girls varsity team. So we'll see if they can get a bounce back win. So that's Thursday from Santa Ana, California, Orange County, 7 p.m. tip-off. We will see you then.
That's also a wild card.
It's actual playoffs. So once again, final score, Eisenhower High School 62, Muir High School 49. Eagles going on to play in the actual playoffs. As I'm John Muir Sr., Bryce Narvaez, saying good night from San Bernardino County.